How's it going, Vault Hunters, and welcome back to another Borderlands 2 Legendary Weapons Guide. Today, we're going to be going after the Doll Legendary SMG known as the Emperor. Now, the Emperor can drop in all elements except for Explosive and is a base game item, which means no DLCs are required. And the red text for this weapon reads, "You know, ... for him." And as always, please note that the prefix of your Emperor may be different to mine, but it will always be some variation of the Emperor. Now, to get our very own Emperor, we first need to go to our nearest fast travel station and head to the Southpaw Steam and Power. Now, once we've loaded in, we will open up our map and notice that there are several circles, and within these circles, we will find the enemies known as the Assassins. Now, the two red circles are going to be showing the location of the first two assassins on the top floor of the map, that being Assassin Wot and Assassin Oney. And the two blue circles are going to be indicating the two assassins on the bottom floor, that being Assassin Reeth and Assassin Rouf. Now, before we can farm these four assassins, we first need to progress through the main campaign and unlock the area known as Sanctuary. As soon as you gain access to Sanctuary, you can pick up the side quest known as Assassinate the Assassins. And once you've completed and turned in this quest, all four assassins will now be farmable with a 100% spawn chance. Now, the first of the four assassins you're going to come across is going to be Assassin Wot. This is a red HP health bar bandit type enemy with a 20% chance at dropping you the Emperor. The second assassin we're going to be coming across is going to be known as Assassin Oney. This is a red HP health bar nomad type enemy with a resistance to explosive damage and has a 20% chance at dropping you the Emperor. Now, the third assassin we're going to be running into is going to be known as Assassin Reeth. He is a red HP health bar psycho type enemy with a 20% chance at dropping you the Emperor. Now, the last and fourth assassin that we're going to be going up against is going to be known as Assassin Rouf. He is a red HP health bar rat type enemy, and he has a 20% chance at dropping the Emperor. Now, there is going to be one other dedicated source that you can go to farm for the Emperor, and that is going to be the Digistruck peak versions of the assassins at a 20% chance at dropping you this item, though I do not recommend it due to the Digistruck peak being fairly long, and you have to complete a good majority of the peak to get to the Digistruck versions of the assassins, not to mention that there's the chance of failing and having to restart, so I very much recommend that you just stick to the base game version of this farm, because it's much faster. You also don't need any DLCs. Then when it comes to the most effective way of farming it, I definitely recommend you just go after Wot and then save and quit. He's the first assassin you run into. He's also the fastest one you can get to spawn in. The only other thing I'd recommend is maybe if you have a teammate or if you yourself are really fast, you can go for Wot and Oney and then save quit. It's definitely not effective to go after all four. The only time I really recommend farming all four assassins is if you're going for certain unique drops. Now, something I want to quickly mention before we move on, when it comes to farming this gun, is that although you have four dedicated enemies that can drop this item at 20% chance, all four of these assassins also have a dedicated blue that can drop at a 33% chance, which means it's more likely to drop over the Emperor. Then on top of that, of having two different weapons colliding with each other to see which one drops whenever you get a kill, all four of the assassins also have a purple skin that they can drop instead of either of the two weapons. So it's just something to think about, that although it is at a 20% drop rate, that it may take you longer than others to get it due to the cluttered loot pool. The closest non-unique item in the game to the Emperor would be a purple doll SMG with matching parts and prefix. So as we can see, the Emperor is definitely doing a lot better in the damage department compared to its purple counterpart, as well with its magazine being a bit beefier, but the purple counterpart strikes back with a higher accuracy and fire rate. But with this being a legendary weapon, let's take into consideration its legendary effect. When you aim down sights with the Emperor and fire it, you shoot 2 additional bullets more than other doll SMGs with same parts and prefix. That's its unique trait, other than its damage and magazine. That's all I really can figure out. I don't know what else this thing does, but it's very underwhelming for a legendary. So now that we know how this item works, we're going to hit it with my phase lock method to test its damage. As usual, I have the two main damage prefixes, Sham Shield just to absorb any damage I may take, Slide Grenade, a damage relic. I have no skills. My badass bar is turned off. As you can see, the damage is actually pretty close between both variants, but we'll go one more time with Slag. So now that we know everything that we need to know about this gun, let's break down the god roll. The first part we're going to be looking for is the barrel, and thankfully we don't have to worry about it due to it being locked as the legendary Emperor Doll barrel. This is what gives the Emperor its unique effect. The next part we're going to be looking for is going to be the prefix or accessory. You can see it on the side of the gun here, highlighted in green. This is going to be the accelerated part. This is what's going to give us an increase to our projectile speed, as well as an increase to our fire rate. So the next part we're going to be looking for is going to be the grip. In this case, we're going to be looking for a doll grip. This is going to give us a boost to our accuracy with a small hit to our overall damage. The next part we're going to be looking at is going to be the stock. In this case, it's going to be the doll stock. Now this is going to help reduce our overall recoil by a big amount, as well as taking a small hit to our overall accuracy. And with this being a doll gun, we will be getting one additional bullet when we use our burst fire. And lastly, as usual, the sights comes down to personal preference. Use whatever sight you prefer. So that just about does it for me. Before I go, I always like to say, I always try and show these items off in their most bare bones state, so you as a player can determine whether or not it's worth putting your time and effort in to get this gun for your character. If I have to make any recommendations for this gun, I would say Maya. She has a class mod that's purely dedicated to just increasing SMG damage, but in my personal opinion, this gun's not that great. It definitely needs an element to just make it viable in any way, so that's just an extra factor you're gonna have to throw in when you're going for a god roll. And not only that, there is definitely much easier weapons to obtain that are uniques, say like the Lasco or the Lascaux, which if you just play the game for a little bit longer, you gain access to that before or after the Emperor. And then if you own the DLC, you can get stuff like the Sandhawk, as well as just other manufacturer SMGs that are just better than this thing. The Emperor to me is just a bit of a disappointing legendary. I'll just say that. You can get kills with it and you can build around it, but yeah, that's just my opinion. But other than that, and me rambling about me not being the biggest fan of this item, I hope you are all having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time, Vault Hunters.